Let's begin with a quiz, or maybe two, or even three. Quiz number one. Homer. Aldous Huxley wrote Brave New World. David Patterson, governor of New York. Andrea Bocelli, tenor. Common features? More about them later. Our scholar began life's journey west of Indiana. But like Hoosier humorist Herb Schreiner, she hurried here as soon as she heard of it. Now, I have to give up part of our third place runner-up's identity to tell her story. She came to Indiana to go to school. All right, let's move on to quiz number two. George Shearing, Art Tatum. Wow, not a single spark of recognition. Well, let's try quiz number three, see if you guys can get a little better. How about Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, Helen Keller, or Louis Braille? Well, now I bet you're on board. These blind personalities overcame what the rest of us term their handicaps by hard work, exercise of intestinal fortitude, good old-fashioned guts, and single-mindedness. Our student lost her vision to Leber's congenital amaurosis, LCA. How has our candidate done with these three measures of character, hard work and single-mindedness? Hard work by this young woman has been evident. High school, effectively graduated in 3 years. Has learned her English well, it was her native language. And has learned to read and speak German, French, and she studies Japanese at an advanced level. By her own admission, she's working extra hard on Japanese vocabulary. She admits she speaks Japanese much better than she writes it. Last March, speaking of language skills, our candidate was the North Central High School Language Arts Student of the Month. But she's interested in other subjects as well. Try education for starters. At her school, Indiana School for the Blind and Visually Impaired, she already works as a Braille consultant based in her school and as a preschool teaching assistant. So for one kindergartner who just could not get the idea of Braille, this child had cerebral palsy and was blind. As has been mentioned, imagine using tennis balls and muffin tins as a substitute for Braille letters and numbers. Well, it is an effective educational method, one she keeps in the background and available as time goes on. It's still used when needed. Her additional academic accomplishments are impressive. On the high honor roll every semester. Participated on the forensics team every year. Well, that's debate for those of us who are not quite as well versed. In the summer of 2018, that's last summer, she attended the National Federation for the Blind STEM Engineering Quotient Program in Baltimore. Nationally, that program is limited to 30 blind or visually impaired students. Well, so much for hard work. It got her the basis for an educational springboard to either Ball State or IU for education as a special needs therapist. Indeed, her interest and experience may take her to Europe, as has been mentioned, where she hopes to improve the ABA autism interest there. And now we get to the capstone feature of our subject, and it's not even her. It's a canine quadruped, a naturalized Canadian companion who was chosen by our honoree. In the United States, the blind cannot obtain dog guides until they're at least 18. But after research, our candidate learned that Canada has provision for dog guides at age 11. It's the Myra Foundation, a Quebec-based provider of dog guides for visually impaired. Bear, you've heard his name now 3 times, and our honorees met when our student was 14. According to teacher Lisa Starfield, Marie has maturity, strength, and independence far beyond what most sighted high school seniors have. I suspect Bear helps a lot, too. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in congratulating 2019's 3rd place Abe Lincoln Scholar Marie Villaneda.
Checking it out, reading the Braille.
He's checking me out.
That's all right.
Sorry, I didn't see it.
It's okay. So you speak every language in the Western Hemisphere. Is there one that you enjoy more of? And I'd like to hear the answer in the language of choice. And then let us know which language you're talking in the event that we don't know what we're talking about.
はい、日本語が好きです。Yes, I enjoy Japanese.
Okay, I figured that wasn't Spanish. I was like, okay, all right. I'm a little bit. Do you speak Spanish? I mean, you left out 18 countries to the south, which I'm mad at you about that, but I'm okay.
My dad speaks Spanish, but I'm not fluent now.
Okay, fair enough. What is your message to young folks who may, as I was asking our previous recipient, what is your message to other folks that may feel that they can't? That words like I can't, it's not possible, it's not for me, oh, that's scary, I'm fearful. How does that look like to you, and what is your message to them?
Honestly, I would just say, just go for it. I mean, if it's not for you, then you can always find a workaround. If you can't go over it or under it or left or right or up and to the side, just bulldoze through it. Yeah, life is pretty much, I mean, it really is 10% what happens and 90% how you react to it. I think we as humans are kind of hardwired to be really adaptable. I mean, we got this far. We started off as little microorganisms, and now we're, Homo sapiens. That's pretty cool. But I mean, I think really, like, y'all like that, huh? But I mean, we are really built to adapt, and so, whether that be reaching out to somebody, there's always people around that are waiting to lift you up, but if they don't know that you're falling, then they can't help. So reach out and find your way through or around whatever's making you struggle.
I enjoyed the microorganism thing. I thought that's people were like, wow, because that makes you sound skinnier when you're a microorganism. I thought
It looked great to me, so.
And there is my final question. I find that many times it is sighted people that have the hardest time seeing, and appreciating what's around them. And so for someone who may not be fully sighted, what are some of the things you wish people would consider insofar as how they treat each other or how they talk to each other, however that may look like to you? Because it seems like to me, based on your already impressive resume, you're going to hit the world big time. You are ready to conquer, whether it's Europe or Asia or wherever you want to go, you're going with the dog. But what do you wish people could see that they currently don't see or choose not to see?
I think people need to be more open about diversity. I mean, a lot of people will talk about the color of people's skin or how they talk, but it's, the only thing that I really see is how people talk, and it's rude to make fun of them for how they talk, so I don't understand what the difference is with sighted people and color, but I mean, I don't know. I really wish that people would be more open to diversity and willing to ask questions if they have them. A lot of people really tiptoe around issues that they don't necessarily need to tiptoe around, and I think that if you just ask questions and you try to learn and you keep an open mind, because you really don't know what somebody's been through unless you ask. And so I think that not assuming and asking questions is really something that people should do more often.
Please congratulate Marie Villaneda. So here's a good lesson. So lesson number 1, never touch the surface animal, right? Yeah. So I knew that. But then tell me though, because often I find like when I'm walking in downtown Indianapolis and I see someone just walking who is blind or visually impaired, how do we approach you so we don't offend you? Like right now I want to help you and get you to the right step so you don't fall off the stage and get hurt. So what is the appropriate way do I tap you on the shoulder? Do I say, hey, what up, chica? I mean, what do I do so that I know the right way? So help me out. Here's a good guide.
Okay. So something that's really important is asking questions. So not everybody likes to be touched. So I actually happen to be one of those people. I don't like to be touched, and that's just...
I am on the other side of the room.
You're right there.
I'm a microorganism. How do I guide you to the steps without saying this way? Because I can't touch the dog and I can't touch you.
Well, and maybe
help
also,
me.
It depends on the person, really. You have to ask. So you did ask me. You said, "How can I help you?" Which is good. I can actually tell my dog to left and find the stairs and do it on my own.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, so it's time to get off my stage. So you need to go. Oh, that's okay.
That's what my dog.
That's that. Yeah, right. And he has bigger teeth than I. Go left. Please give her a round of applause.